With me here is a book that some of us already we have bought. A Bridge to a Prosperous Africa by Ntuma Mawere. It's quite a thought-provoking book. I have read it about twice, and each time I read it, it challenges me to look at issues that I could have just dismissed as trivial or as, with the interpretations that we have been running with before. So it is a book that centers on the role of mobile phone network firms and their actors in the African context. And if you look at the African context, you'll find that the first mobile call was made in December 1986. And by that time, the main player in the delivery of this service was the government. And this call was made in Zaire. And at that time, it had a population of about 40 million people. And you might be surprised to learn that only about 4,000 people out of 40 million people were connected telephonically at that time. And from the time that Joseph Gad and Miko came together without funding whatsoever, they formed Telecel, which has spread to so many nations. From the time these guys decided to change the face of this industry, the impact that this industry has had, especially in the African context, far outweighs, especially when we talk about democracy in the sense of democracy. Because I submitted to you that right now about 800 million people are connected telephonically in Africa. And these are people that made a choice, which is one of the quotes that Mr. Mawere quotes, that prosperity is a consequence of choice, and knowledge holds the promise to a prosperous Africa. They made a choice, and through allowing market forces to determine the allocation of resources, and allowing market forces to choose who is the best actor in the market, because from the time that these guys came up, there has been so many players coming up on board, and there has been a lot of competition. 800 million people have been connected so far. What can we learn from that? Politically, if we combine the political influences and their reach when it comes the penetration when it comes to the African population, I don't have the statistics yet, but I would want to believe that it reaches that much. It compares. So, ladies and gentlemen, is Africa hopeless? The triple evils of inequality, poverty, and unemployment, can we leave them in the hands of the government to say that empowerment has to come through the government? Or we have to make choices as individuals. And usually the choices that we make, especially at a corporate level, they impact thousands, if not millions. Because through the case studies that Mr. Mawere addresses here, we need no rocket scientists to tell us that many people have benefited from this industry. Yet this industry been left in the hands of the government, what would have happened? So, ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't waste much of our time, but these are some of the issues that are discussed right now in South Africa. South Africa is celebrating how many years of democracy? Is it 20 this year?
Yep.
Yet, at the birthing time of this nation, two big players in the mobile industry, they were born as well. One being Vodacom and one being MTN. As we celebrate 20 years for South Africa. Should we not pause and look at some of these and trace the development of some of these corporates and the millions of lives that they have impacted? So what we're saying is, if we could come together, we combine all these case studies of our corporate heritage, we learn from them, we build a knowledge pool, so that even future generations, when they come, they can tap into and make informed decisions. We would have done something as a generation. Because the greatest evil that a generation can do is to squander the opportunities or to put the generation that comes at a deficit. We could do something, but it takes you and me to come together in this network to say we have something that we can do together. We collaborate, we share experiences, and we define the values. We can debate upon what was the aim of Mandela. Was it to house people? Was it to do those, to do so many things for us, or to give us freedom? Because freedom gives us a common denominator from where we can make our choices as individuals.